American Marketing Association here at UH. I'm currently executive president, but I'm also a student assistant at PACE, so I kind of get the best of both the worlds going on right now. As for AMA, we are the marketing club here at Shidler. We offer opportunities for our members to grow professionally and personally. Our main goal is to not only educate members about marketing, but kind of to help them learn how to market themselves. This kind of directly ties into how AMA is kind of built, and the nature of it is that we are open to all majors, even though we are a marketing club. But we love that we have a mixture of business and non-business majors because we kind of learn and grow from each other and gaining different experiences. We have a lot of fun. We bring in professionals. We grow together as students, and it's a great place to be. Another thing to add is that last semester we did start a initiative to support local, and we got the support from other business clubs too this semester. So this directly ties into our speaker today. So definitely support the Asato Family Shop. So for today, special guest speaker, today's guest speaker is the founder and owner of the locally praised Asato Family Shop. The Asato Family Shop is famous for its incredible and highly sought after sherbet that is made in-house locally. This sherbet is made with the community in mind, focusing on nostalgic flavors that will forever be remembered. Similar to that kind of like the crack seed store. Flavors include Lihing gummy bears to Green River and so much more. And they're just created to bring joy to the people of Hawaii and around the world. So with that being said, please join me in welcoming Neale Asato.
Hey guys.
Thank you so much for being here today, Neale.
Thanks for having me.
So Neale, I'd like to start today off with a scenario question. So say if you and I were on an airplane together in the distant future and we were seat partners, and I turn to ask you, what is your name and what do you do? What would your response be?
Yeah, I would just tell, my name's Neale, and our family runs a small sherbet shop in Hawaii. And we just focus on making local flavors for the local people. And it's pretty small, but I think it's pretty, we just have fun doing it for the community.
So Neale, what's your background?
I went to school I just took art classes, a lot of art classes. I was planning on getting an art degree, and then I kind of we had a kid when we were 20, 21. So, I kind of figured out that I shouldn't just focus on art, and then I should probably get a real job. So I started working in restaurants. Our family has a background of owning restaurants, working in restaurants. So I just went back to thinking about working restaurants because I'm just comfortable doing restaurants.
So Asato Family Shop, how long have you been in business and what is Asato Family Shop?
Yeah, so it's been almost 3 years, I guess, since I started it by myself in the beginning with the plans of opening the shop eventually. So maybe after the first 3 to 6 months, we finally got a real business going. I started at home by myself, making sherbet and delivering to people. And that kind of got out of hand after 30 or 35 people delivering to customers' homes. So we found a spot in Halaba with my cousins, and then we just slowly organically grew the company, just buying equipment as we needed as it grew. So that's how it kind of started.
So from the beginning, you were hand delivering these products to friends and family. Is that how you got started?
Yeah, so it was really small. It was friends and family. I just started Instagram just to kind of let people know what flavors we had. We did just one pre-order release a month. So it was you had a week to order, a couple weeks to order, and then I'd fulfill the orders and then deliver to your house. And then it just kind of grew slowly. Maybe some of the foodie people started following, and then they ordered and then shared with their friends. So it's been organically growing just through Instagram mostly.
Wow. How many people are involved with Asato Family Shop, including yourself?
Right now, it's just my mom, just my parents, my mom and dad. So they both retired and then they came on to help. So it was good timing for my mom. She's always really busy. If you come to the shop, you'll see her. She's always doing something. She's always been a really big supporter of whatever I was working on. So my mom, and then my dad, and then just our auntie. So there's only 4 of us for production. And then my wife and my kids come and help on Sundays at the shop. So it's just all family.
Cool. Could you tell us about when the idea for Asato Family Shop was born? And do you remember the moment when it went from the idea stage to the startup stage?
Yeah, that was, I mean, my mom used to always make like like goody, like home style goody with like strawberry soda, condensed milk. We used to make that since we were little. And then I guess there's no one really in Hawaii or besides like Tasaka Goody that currently kind of makes it. So I used to just make it at home for fun. And then after I figured out I didn't want to do a restaurant, I just wanted to do something fun that was food related. So then I was like, initially I was doing ice cream and sherbet, but after a couple months, we just completely focused on doing sherbet because that was like it was just more a simplified version because the ice cream is like a lot of refrigeration. So we just kind of simplified the business model and focus more on local flavors. And then I think we always keep adjusting our business, just trying to figure out which way to go.
Keep up with the times, right?
Yeah, it's always evolving. Like it's always changing. Like initially, I wanted to do like a scoop shop or a scoop truck, and then kind of just evolved only to just being only pints, which actually turned out to be a better business model for us. And
so speaking of business models, I can say I'm very proud to be one of those customers lining up on the weekends, for your product. And it made me realize, and it also made me want to question is like, why did Asato Family choose this distribution model? And also, did you explore other distribution models for your product?
Yeah, I think the pint, it was just, I don't know, like it kind of just happened and it just kind of just kept going with it because it was working the business model. Like I wanted to do a subscription-based ice cream, like sherbet business in the beginning. So that was like the original business model and deliver. And then when we got the location in Halava, just doing pints for people to pick up was like a lot easier than doing scoops, just for just the ease of just like having a simple business.
Right.
And then it's just kept, I don't know, I'm not sure. It's just like, yeah, just doing pints were like the simplest business model for us, what we could do at each location really. And then
do you have plans in the future to explore other distribution models for Asato Family, or would you like it to stay or remain how it is now?
I mean, yeah, we're looking to expand this coming year to do something a little different. And I mean, down the road, I think we'll look into doing wholesale, but right now, just doing a straight retail is, I mean, the best business model for us because that'll cut into like your margins, like it's doing wholesale, and then we're kind of maxed out at our current location, like freezer space. So I mean, I think it's best for us to just control the distribution,
right,
for now until we can like actually like handle higher production
and scale up. Yeah. So I've always told my friends that aside from selling sherbet, I strongly believe that Asato also sells nostalgia. How big of a role do you think nostalgia plays into your product?
Yeah, nostalgia. I think everyone, like growing up, I think you remember the flavors. You go into like the candy shop, the crack seed store, getting icy. Like those are like the best parts of your day, like growing up. And then as you get older, you kind of miss going to the candy shop and getting candy. And eventually, like if you have kids, like it's kind of like giving them those same memories. So yeah, we take our kids, like we don't give them too much candy and sugar, but when we do, like they really do enjoy like checking out all the old school spots because they're all slowly disappearing. So I mean, we try to incorporate those flavors into the like sorbets and sherbets we make because I think it has more of an emotional connection than just doing like straight up like commodity flavors in the regular supermarket. Like it has to be something more emotional than just eating it just to eat it. Like, so I think that's what we're trying to do.
So in the past 2 years, since the inception of Asato's, were there moments in your business where you had to pivot?
Yeah, I think multiple times. When we left Halava, we had to look for a spot. So I mean, we didn't have too much cash. Like in the beginning, it wasn't like, yeah, I don't know. It was really tight. And we luckily found a spot in Pali where we currently are. And it wasn't like that busy when we first moved to town, to Pali. So I mean, we had to like just keep going, pushing through, and then slowly business picked up. And we're kind of lucky that COVID hit this past year, because I think if it happened to us 2019, I don't really know if we would have made it, because at least we had like one good solid year at Pali before COVID, because I think it would have been real tight. We might not have made it.
Yeah, that's a great lead to my next question, was that we all realized that the pandemic hit hard in Hawaii, especially local businesses. So could you tell us how Asato was able to navigate through these uncertain times?
We're lucky we had a online pre-order system going, like pre-COVID. So our customers were kind of used to ordering online. So I think, yeah, we just closed the shop for like 1 month in April last year. And then we just went to all online pre-order only for the rest of the year. So, I mean, that was like the biggest pivot from last year, trying to make it safer for my family and our customers to come by. So it was just pre-order pickup. It was pretty fast. People would just come up, get their order. And then later in the year, we started selling like extra pints to people with pre-order. But we tried to keep the lines at a minimum last year. So starting this year, we're starting to like kind of open back up slowly and like let people come by, walk-ups come by.
So I know our audience is dying to know, what is the process like of creating a new flavor in the Asato Family Shop?
Recently, starting last year, we started doing like Flavor Lab Fridays, which was a good exercise for myself to try and try new flavors. And it was good to give away the pints, because I end up like keeping a lot of stuff in our extra freezer. It was good for me to like practice to make new flavors and like see if it resonated with our customers, and then I would work on it more and then do a real release if the flavors, if people liked it. So I mean, I think we can make the flavors pretty quickly from a conception, like idea conceptual, like to putting it out.
What was the hardest flavor to make so far? What took the most time to create?
I think recently the alcohol ones were a little bit of a challenge, just because alcohol doesn't freeze, or has a really, like, it doesn't freeze solid. So I have to that one was like a lot of R&D to make sure it still doesn't freeze solid, but it has like a good consistency from your freezer. Because just having like a little bit too much alcohol would like throw off the whole thing and make it like mush.
Right.
So I mean, I had to work on the most, like, recently.
I'm really curious to know, what is Neale's favorite flavor that you guys made so far?
I think my most favorite, I really like the pickled mango juice. Like, if you grew up eating pickled mango and you like the pickled brine, that's the real sour, like, that was one of my favorites that we've done.
What was the first flavor that Asato Family did?
Like our first flavors?
Yeah, the first prototype that you guys made.
I mean, I worked on the strawberry, pineapple, and green river since like the beginning. I kind of knew that we need to have the three classics, like a set. But I always worked on the strawberry from Tasaka Goody Goody. So I mean, I worked on that recipe and I tried to improve like maybe to make it more to my taste, like art.
Yeah.
And then, so I mean, I've been working on the classics since the beginning. And I think the first pre-order we did had like Green River, Shochu, Goody Goody. Then I did like a couple ice cream things. And then slowly, yeah, we just stopped doing ice cream and then focused on sherbet after, I think it was like 2019 or something.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So for me, as a proud customer of Asato's, I can acknowledge that your social media marketing is phenomenal. And in many ways, it's a driving force for your business. In fact, that's how I found out about Asato Family. For the entrepreneurs tuning in, do you have any advice in regards to using social media and reaching new customers?
In the beginning, it was, I think it's hard to start. Like, I was even debating if I should even start the Instagram for it. But I think the biggest thing is like really just to start and just put stuff out there. And I mean, if you scroll all the way back to our Instagram to like the beginning, like there was no real direction. Like I think I was always just trying to improve. And you'll see like how it evolved from like the beginning to like what it is now. But it's being consistent with their posts. It's like it's just trying to put out content that people actually want to look at and be a part of. I think it's just I think you just always have to be a student and trying to learn, try to get better. That's about it.
So I'm talking to Neale, the entrepreneur. If you weren't doing sherbet or if you weren't doing Asato Family, what would you be doing instead? Like what other ventures would you have wanted to explore?
Probably like video, probably video or even like content stuff. Like I was always, since I was little, I was always doing like video and photography kind of things. So I mean, I think I would go to work in like the creative field if I wasn't doing this. But so I mean, it's a good mixture of all the things I like to do. Just like the creative side, trying to run a business and like social media kind of thing. So just kind of lucky it all worked out.
All worked out. What's been the most surprising thing, during your entrepreneurial journey?
It's not easy. It's like it's a grind. Like sometimes you feel like it's going really well, and then it's just being able to like adapt to every situation, trying to like figure out problems. That's like the main thing. It's just always problem solving.
How has this entire, I guess, journey with Asato Families, taking it from the ground up, how has that changed your life and also your family's life as well?
I think it's brought us a lot closer. Spending that much time with your family, it has its pros and cons, like it's great spending all day with your family, but sometimes you drive each other crazy. Yeah, like if you work with your family, you'll know it's yeah, we're just lucky to be together. I think when we look back in a couple of years, like we did get to spend a lot of time together and build it together.
Yeah, I can especially recognize that even during the pandemic, for a lot of us, it did force a lot of people to get to know their family members a little bit closer, a little better. What are some of the tips that you would give, for students here who eventually go out and start their own family business? What are some tips that you would give them?
I think it's just kind of like setting roles. I mean, or just having everyone kind of like know what their roles are. Kind of like it's not. I don't know. It's different with each family. I'm sure it's like my dad was from construction, so like he was like the general foreman. So he's really good at like setting up systems. He made like all these organization stuff for our like freezers, and he did a good job. He's like a builder, so like he makes all these like devices to make like production simpler. My mom's just like the hardest worker you'll ever meet. Like like she pretty much runs most of the stuff. Like, I think everyone just kind of knows their role, like, and then just everyone just does their thing.
Yeah. Well, moms are always the backbone, right?
Yeah, for sure. She's the heart and soul of the company.
So I'm really curious to know, do you remember the moment that you realized that you really have something here? Like, do you remember the moment when, you know, Asato's really started to blow up and gain major traction? Can you remember that specific moment?
Yeah, I think it was last April, I think, or last April when he did the Lihing float day at the shop. So that day we only had our Lihing float available, and the line was like, I think that was like the first crazy line that like wrapped all around the building, and like it was zigzagging. Like you could just feel like there was just like a lot of excitement, and I think after that month, like things were rolling like really well.
So recently, we've been seeing a lot of collaborations between Asato Family and other local companies, which is great to see. Could you walk us through like the process of collaborating with other local brands, and like, you know, what's that timeline like?
They'll usually like reach out to us just like through Instagram, or most of them we kind of have like a personal relationship like before we even, like I've known them before like, and it's like trying to just work with companies and other people that align with our vision and are just like good companies and good people to work with. We just want to work with like friends and people we respect in the industry.
A really good question came through the chat just now, and I want to ask it. How did that partnership with Bar Leather Apron develop? And do you see more of these types of collaborations in the future?
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I've known Tom, like his son and my son go to school together. So I mean, it's kind of like all this networking. It's like Hawaii is really small, so I guess you just get to know a lot of good people, and then if we have businesses that kind of we can make something work together, it's always fun to like work with friends, you know, like so. Definitely working on a new Barred Leather Apron, some new flavors with them. So we've been talking. We're gonna definitely do more things, because it's good to like help each other out. Like they've had a hard time being shut down this whole time, the whole COVID, and I think a lot of businesses like you just got to adapt and try to work on fun projects that like benefit the consumer and the companies.
Is there any near approaching projects that that Asato Family is currently working on?
Yeah, we have some new things. I can't really say, but yeah, we have some new things.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, probably later this year. A couple collaborations that are pretty excited about. Like, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be really exciting for everyone.
It's gonna be an eventful 2021 for Asato Family.
Yeah, there's a lot of things working on.
So Neale, if you could go back towards you know, the beginning of Asato Family, and if you could time travel and, you know, talk to Neale, like, is there any advice you would give to yourself on, you know, anything that you've learned up to this point?
I'm not sure. Like, just have the confidence just to start. Like, that was the hardest part, is to start, I think. And just having like your family behind you was, I think, the luckiest thing. Like they've really helped build the whole thing. Like I pretty much just started it. I do the flavors, do the Instagram, but like it was all their hard work. If you look back, like if I didn't have my parents to help in the beginning, yeah, it was pretty, I don't think I would have made it.
Yeah, family knows best. Family knows best. We are now going to transition into the audience Q&A for Neale. So for the audience members joining us today, if you have a question for Neale, please drop it into the chat function in Zoom, and the PACE team will go ahead and relay that question over to him.
All right. So for the first question, it's from Peter Zwicker, and he asks, would you say you have a target/beachhead market, or you just want to serve everyone?
I think we try to be more like specific on the target market. We don't really focus on like the older generation. I think we know our target is like moms with young kids, like young families. And I mean, right now, yeah, we're definitely not trying to get any of the baby boomers. We don't like target market anything to them. It's pretty much Instagram specific right now. I was thinking about doing Facebook, but right now I think we're pretty good just doing Instagram until I think we can handle, because they have a lot of questions. Like they're really hard to deal with sometimes. So I mean, the younger generation, they kind of get the whole thing, but it's a lot of emails with the old people. Sometimes it's, so yeah, it's just, I think in the future we'll definitely focus more on like targeting that generation through Facebook or newspaper kind of stuff. But right now we're just focusing on Instagram. It's just a lot simpler and easier for me right now.
To follow up that question, Neale, is the marketing for Asato Family Shop like organic marketing? Like, do you guys do any paid marketing, or do you guys stray away from that?
In the beginning, I did pay a little bit to reach more of an audience. Mm-hmm. But maybe like the past year, I've only done like like a couple of sponsored posts, but it was probably more to promote something that we needed to push. So I think most of it is just word of mouth through like Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's just people posting, then their friends see it. Like it's been more organic growth than we really haven't paid for much advertising. Yeah, we tried to stop the Japanese that was before pre-COVID. There were some Japanese magazines interested, mm-hmm. but we weren't really set up for the Japanese market or tourist market because we just sell by the pint.
Yeah,
I think we had like a scoop shop, then we'll target like more of a tourist clientele because we're just not set up to handle scoops for the tourists right now.
Right. The next question is from Faye Miguel, and she asks, how are you guys able to gain so much following, both on social media and the amount of people that pre-order and line up at the storefront?
I don't know. It's more organic growth than I think it's having. I mean, it's having good pictures, I guess, for Instagram. Mm-hmm. But more than that, I think it's people sharing with their friends and family and actually eating it and giving like their testimony or just trying to. I think that's the best way for marketing is actually like trusting your friend's word instead of just like someone advertising to you. So I think it's just natural, organic, just word of mouth, I think is the best advertisement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I seriously can't count on my hands how many times my friends have tagged me in those giveaway posts for Asato's. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic way to reach new customers. We have a new question. It is from Tony. It is, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced within the past 2 years?
I think when trying to expand, like slowly like grow your business as the demand comes, is like deciding when to buy equipment, like allocating capital to equipment, or just 6 months after we moved to Pali, before we bought the bigger ice cream machine or the sherbet machine, which was like 4 times bigger. So the first 6 months, my parents were there like daytime, and then I was there like all night making stuff because we only had a 6-quart machine. So that thing was running constantly because it only makes like 10 pints like every half an hour. So that thing was like running 5 days a week, like all day.
Oh, nonstop.
And yeah, it was that was pretty hard because I would stay overnight 2 or 3 nights a week. And then the next machine, I think it was like $36,000. So we
Wow.
pretty much saved up and then bought the 4 times the size machine. And then we had to decide when to buy. Well, first we bought used freezers, these commercial freezers.
Mhm.
And then they lasted 4 to 6 months and then started dying. So we had to get rid of those and just been buying brand new freezers ever since, because it's just too much of a headache dealing with used equipment sometimes.
Mm.
I mean, I think it's trying to plan your growth and not wasting money in the beginning. Yeah, you don't want to waste capital and buy things you don't really need unless you have the capital.
Have you ever made flavors that didn't pass the Neale's test? Like flavors that just didn't come into fruition? That were just like, oh no, like this is a no-go for me. Like, were there any of those flavors that came about?
There's a bunch of flavors we don't release, but there hasn't been anything too bad that, like, I think if it sounds good, I think we can make it good.
Yeah, it sounds like everything you guys made so far has been a home run.
I don't know, my dad is like the biggest critic of, and the only thing he's really liked was like the donuts, that powdered donut one. Like,
Yeah.
he always gives his like 2 cents, but like if I think it's good, I think we'll, like, my mom will taste it, my auntie will taste it, and like as long as I think we can get it down like pretty close to what we want usually.
All right, the next question is from Huang. He asks, can you tell us about the competition that you face as a business?
Sorry, which one was it?
From Huang Lockland. He asks, can you tell us about the competition that you face?
Competition like in the marketplace?
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some other businesses that have popped up more recently. Like I do enjoy, I think competition is very important for all businesses because it's, it pushes you to do better. I think it's helps us like keep moving forward instead of being like stagnant in our business model or flavors. Like I think competition is good for everyone, good for customers to try to have other options. And then it's good for I think it's just good for everyone.
So we have another question from Mosen. He says, thanks, Neale, for sharing your journey with us. What was your process of not working a conventional 9-to-5 job? And what was it like going after a startup? Like the process of the startup?
I was still working like a restaurant job when I started in the beginning. So I'll just make things on, it's like pretty much a side hustle on the side before I went like all in and just left the other job and just focused on it. So I mean, it's good to start off small and test the market, see if people like it, and then slowly evolve it and grow it if you think it actually can be a viable business. But I think having a steady 9-to-5 job is great if you can like incorporate your business on the side and then make sure it's like a good time to leave your regular job. Is that a good answer?
Yeah. So I also have another question. There's a lot of marketing majors here, especially from AMA, UH Manoa. So what are some of the tools that you use in terms of marketing Asato Family Shop on social media?
I think I tried to read a lot of books, watched a lot of YouTube in the beginning. And yeah, I still do I don't read as much as I should probably, but I mean, I think it's the best way to learn is through actual practice and trying to test the real world, like if it's actually gonna work. Like you can read a lot of books and stuff, but until you put into practice, I think you'll see what actually works. And yeah, it was just like a lot of online learning, just watching stuff and reading. That's about it.
So a great follow-up question to that is from Rosalind. She asked that you said that you had an interest in art and content creation. How would you implement that into your business or inspire others to do the same?
I think it helps if you already have like an art background, or it's like developing. I think it's just different. Like if you're already into art and like design, and like it's I think it's hard to learn just by, I don't know. I mean, you can take classes. There's like some online classes that are just like watching YouTube. Really, like that was like the biggest help. But I think it's just getting out and actually doing it, taking photos, getting better. Like if you look at all of our stuff, like it gradually got better. Like the colors, I don't know. It's
the color schemes,
it's evolved. Yeah,
the overall time. Yeah.
I think
So is that you that's doing all the entire marketing for Asato's?
Yeah, for now, I reached out to some graphic designer stuff for help and for some future projects, because it's kind of hard for me to do everything. But I think I could just do a basic, like a decent job. I think I'll like hire some real people to do some real serious graphic stuff for us.
Another question that came in is we see a lot of especially from Asato's Instagram, you guys love to support local businesses. What are some of your favorite local businesses that you've been supporting lately?
It's just a lot of the small mom and pop shops that really like they're having a hard time. I don't think people really understand like how hard it is to run a business, and then how hard it is to run when you're like forced to only do 50% capacity, only takeout. Like I think the struggle is there's like a lot. There's pretty much all the local businesses. I mean, we go to like support like the ones that we know the people there. We've known them for before we started the Asato Family Shop. But we just try to support as much as we can because we know how hard it is.
Yeah. Another question came in from Crystal. What kind of resources does Asato Family need to level up and expand their business?
Oh, yeah, good question. I think we need more space for sure. Like we're pretty maxed out. We're lucky we had the unit behind us, because our unit is only like 500 square feet. And then we're really lucky the unit behind us was empty. So after 6 months, we signed a lease for the space behind us and just cut a hole through the wall to put like extra freezers, all of our storage. Because I think if we got stuck with only that 500, the original footprint of that shop, we would have been stuck only making like half the amount we can make. And so I think we're looking to expand, probably get warehouse space or like a real commercial production. That'll help us. Then I think we could actually like do a lot more things, reach a different demographic, and like focus more. We can do like a specific like tourist kind of thing, like kind of keep them away, like or more towards Waikiki side or something. Then we can just, I think, hit different markets.
So the goal would be later on eventually to have multiple Asato Family Shops across the island?
I think so. Like that's the plan. We're trying to get maybe one production spot for like a warehouse and everything, and then have maybe small like satellite shops, like real small shops eventually, like in each neighborhood, because it's kind of hard for everyone to drive to town, even though we have customers that drive from like North Shore or like Pint side. Like it's hard for some people to drive to town, even though it's not too far, but it seems really far. Yes.
Yeah. I'm also curious to know, how did you arrive at using that pint container as the packaging for your product?
It was like an homage to Tasaka Goody Goody in Maui. They used like the seemed like Chinese takeout container, but they had it at Chef's Zone, and it was honestly easier to get. And I think it's just a different shape because it's not ice cream, so I didn't want to use ice cream like a round lid and a round pint container. So I mean, it's definitely an homage to Tasaka Goody Goody because that's what inspired the whole thing, really. And I think you just need to be a different container than regular ice cream.
Yeah, because we noticed that it's really awesome that you guys just stamp on the design onto each container.
It was.
I'm just envisioning somebody stamping like 200 containers of those
Oh, it's crazy.
with ice cream.
Yeah, my parents and my auntie them do it. It's a lot of because there's like three different stamps. So it's a lot of labor right now. So I think we'll eventually get it printed, but we really don't have the storage right now for like a full shipping container full of boxes to come in. So I mean, until we expand, I think we'll just keep doing hand stamped for now.
You know, one thing that I've noticed that the Shidler clubs are doing lately on social media is that they're going around supporting local businesses, and that's such a great thing to see from students from UH Manoa. I also want to hear your opinion on like how important is it to support local businesses during these trying times?
I think it's super important. Like if we lose all these small shops, like it won't be the same Hawaii, you know. It's gonna be just retail mainland chains, and it would just kind of lose. If we lose like we already lost a lot of small shops, but it's really what makes a community, you know, like the small okazuyas and stuff, like small crack seed shops and candy shops. Like if they weren't there, it would feel, I don't know, it would just lose its soul, like each community. So yeah, we try to remind people to go and support like your local favorite shops, because if they're gone, then they're gonna have little options to go. You're just gonna have retail chains.
Going into this next week, and also maybe even this week, does Asato Family have any releases coming up for their sherbet?
Yeah, next month we're doing like Lihing month again. I know it seems like we do it all the time, but it's like the best, most requested. Like we're doing Lihing float next month, bringing back just a bunch of flavors that like everyone kind of grew up eating in Hawaii, like candies, Lihing candy kind of stuff. And then we're gonna start to do. So we figured out like at the end of last year, like the pre-order packs probably weren't selling as much because I think people's freezers were starting to get full. Selling them like 6 packs of like with the classics too. So we're gonna pivot and do like 3 online exclusive flavors for all of the pre-order packs that you can't get in shop, only through the online pre-order. So I mean, we started it this past month, and then we're gonna continue, I think, the rest of the year. So I mean, I think just trying to give people different
options.
Yeah, or not being forced to buy like the classics with like 3 of the special flavors.
Out of all your collaborations, you know, what are the most memorable ones that you've done so far?
Like the locomotion one was pretty fun. We did like t-shirts. We did like a little cooler bag with them. They let us pop up at the Alamana locomotion. We made like a rainbow Skittles. And I don't know, it's just working with like all the people we collaborated with it's fun. It's something different than like what we're usually doing. I don't know, all the collaborations are pretty fun.
Is there anything that has to go past your criteria in terms of like saying yes to a collaboration?
we try to like work with businesses. I mean, I think it'll like benefit both sides. It's really hard to do collaborations with some like the startup that are really small. I mean, yeah, I mean, we want to like support the small, but it's hard to do like a really, like if they don't really have a fan base and they, I don't know, it's just trying to make sure it's like a mutual for both parties, for both companies, and like having like a little bit different customer base to expose like both of our companies to the other side. Like I think it just needs to feel just like a good collaboration that we could actually make something fun and exciting for both of our customer base.
So since we're on the topic of collaboration, you know, what would be Neale's dream collaboration?
What company?
And it doesn't. Let's just say on a local level, and I guess on a global level.
Locally, I don't know. We're working with one of the people that we wanted to work with for a long time. Like, I guess they sent like somehow they got like our Sherbird, and their wife was a fan, so they talked to their husband, and like he owns like one of the companies that we wanted to work with. So I mean, that's kind of in the works for later this year. So like, I don't know, for national, I kind of want to have our own like Nike shoe or something. That'd be pretty. Because
So not even Sherbird, just shoes.
No. Yeah.
Is there a certain model of a Nike shoe that you would want to do?
I don't know. I'm open to do anything, but it'll be just fun to do. Not with Nike or just any like major shoe company that just do our own shoes, something for fun.
Well, hopefully we can see a Jordan 1's Asato later on with all the flavors on it.
Yeah, it's crazy how like, I don't know, you just network and meet people in business and like how everyone is connected. It's kind of crazy how close everyone really is. So I mean, it's just, I think, yeah, just networking is, can actually make it happen if you really really want it to happen.
A question that just came in is from Logan. The question is, does Asato Family have any future plans for expanding their product line, not just limited to ice cream?
Yeah, for sure. We do want to open like a real shop and have people come in. Definitely like candies and stuff, but I think, yeah, we definitely want to expand our products. Mostly food products, kind of like, hopefully we can get good private labels or good collaborations with products and companies that we like, and then have it in our shop. I mean, yeah, I have some big plans that we don't really talk about outside, but I mean, I think we definitely want to have like a full shop where people can come in and buy a bunch of different things. But I think it's just like needs to be well curated and just have good products that we stand behind.
We have another question. Oh, go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, this question is from Emily, and she asked, who are some people you look up to as a mentor in terms of business?
Locally, I've been really lucky to meet some people just through like close friends that actually, they're a little bit older, like they're not like, yeah, they're just like they've actually like gone through opening businesses, like selling businesses. I think it's really good to find someone in your network, like your parents or their friends, that they know someone that are just somewhere like that you want to be in the future, and they've actually done it, because that's, I think, the best way to learn is they've all learned through experience, and like if they can teach you things that they've learned, it'll save you a lot of time and a lot of energy and headache. So I mean, just networking is really important. Just being a nice person and trying to meet other good people. It's been, I think that's the best part of this whole journey, has been definitely meeting a lot of people.
Another question I guess I would have too is like, advice would you give someone who's trying to get into like the food or dessert industry, like locally?
I think you just need to work on your craft and make sure your product needs to be a little bit different. It needs to be, I mean, I don't think it has to be the best when you first start, but eventually you always have to be like improving and trying to get it. I mean, not perfect, but I mean, just always trying to improve. And then taking advice from people that are already in the industry, just like talking to a lot of, just whatever you want to do. I think you just have to find the people that are already doing it and like just learn from them, or just go out and do your own thing. Everyone has like their own way of doing stuff.
So Neale, I know that you take a lot of inspiration from the local nostalgic crack seed stores. So if you and me go to that crack seed store in Kaimaki, what is Neale putting in his bag? What items are you putting in your bag?
What do I like? I like the king. Did you ever try the king mui? That really big lihimui? It's like really.
Not yet.
Yeah, that one is good. It's like has like a lot of meat. It's like not super sour. That one, I think, that one's good. We always get icy, like leaking icy floats, for sure. I don't know. Most of the time they'll let you like sample. I don't know about now, but before, like pre-COVID, you could like Mr. Young will let you sample stuff. But yeah, like I don't know. There's like a lot of good stuff. I don't know. It matters what you're into.
I feel like Neale would. I feel like you would put everything in a bag and just pay whatever.
Like you ever tried like the licorice? You know the one that's like horse poop?
No, I haven't. I haven't yet. Can't say I have.
There's a lot of stuff.
So Neale, one last question. Any last advice to our students here today who are eager to start working on their ventures and start their entrepreneurial journey? Any lasting advice to them?
I think it's just to go out and do it, and then if you fail, you just have to get back up and do it again. Like I think the ones that actually make it, you'll see like they're the ones that actually are like resilient, and you're gonna have to deal with like a lot of headaches and stuff. It's just like who can handle all the stuff that comes along with owning a business. And I think it's just perseverance and the drive to, even if like, yeah, it's just like the drive to make it successful. And like, yeah, I don't really think about making like a ton of money. I think the money does come like eventually. You shouldn't focus on trying to make a ton of money, because I don't think it really brings happiness. But just trying to, like, every day if you wake up and you're excited to go to work for your business and do stuff like every day, I think that's like that's what I feel is success. Like, yeah, not dreading to go to work. Being free to do whatever you want kind of sometimes, and being able to like spend time with your family. Like that's been the best part of it so far.
And on that positive note, we'd like to conclude today's event with Neale Asato, founder of Asato Family Shop. For those who participated in our giveaway, thank you so much. We will be announcing the winners later tonight on our IG stories. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsor here today, First Insurance Company of Hawaii, for making this event possible. We'd also like to take the time to thank AMA and also Marcus here today for co-hosting the event with us. Again, please join us next week, Friday, with Mylan Yamamoto. That event will start at 4:30 and will run all the way to 5:30 on Zoom. From all of us at Pace, we are sending everybody our best wishes. Please stay safe and enjoy the rest of your weekend.